Welcome to Fashion Designers Get Paid, a podcast for burnt out fashion designers who want to ditch the toxic rat race, say bye-bye to backstabbing bosses, and work with brands who value and respect them. I'm your host, Heidi, and I believe that you can do things differently in your fashion career. Because the truth is, most industry jobs will underpay and overwork you, and having your own brand is far from profitable. Let's also be honest, most of them fail. So if you actually want to, be a fashion designer and get paid, the best way to do it is as a freelancer. Now, maybe you've been told that brands don't accept remote freelancers, or that freelancing means being an exploited temp employee working full-time without benefits. Or to work freelance, you have to be a rock star expert with all the skills from design through development. I'm going to show you that it is possible to be a real freelancer in fashion, work remotely with brands you love, and make money, even if you're terrified you don't have all the answers. You got this, and I'm here to help you do it. In this episode, I'm chatting with Masha Khoruzhik, a freelance textile designer for the home fashions industry and one of my FAST students. Masha kickstarted her freelance career a year ago, and in that time, her entire life has changed. She only works 26 hours a week, but she is making more money than when she worked full-time in-house. Even better, for the first time ever, she's working out and exercising regularly. She says that her mental and physical health has improved now that she has, and I quote, reclaimed her life. During our conversation, Masha and I talk about how she set and recently raised her rates, how she's been getting clients, including projects with brands like Anthropologie, and what she's done in sticky situations like getting asked to knock off someone else's work. At the end of the interview, Masha told me that she's still shocked by her new life as a freelancer because she never thought this was actually possible. Masha and I also talked about how she wanted to take Fridays off, but she was scared to ask her clients. Well, quick spoiler alert, a few weeks after we recorded, Masha emailed me to tell me that she told her clients she was taking Fridays off, and her clients were, quote, stoked for her. She told me that this blew her mind. Masha showed me the email that she sent to her clients, and I immediately knew why they were stoked for her. It's because she positioned taking Fridays off as a benefit to her clients. So here's what I did. I asked for Masha's permission to share the email with you because I think it's an amazing learning opportunity. Here's exactly what she wrote to her clients verbatim. Hello, team. And then she put the brand name in there. There's been a slight change to my schedule. Starting August 4th, I will no longer provide services on Fridays in order to set more time for improving my skills and workflow to then in turn provide you with better designs. I also plan to start offering super exclusive artwork tailored to the home industry and current trends, including beach jacquard designs for sale online, hopefully by the end of the year. Rest assured that you, as my client, are on the top of my priority list, and I will keep accommodating your inquiries to the best of my abilities with no change to our previous arrangements. I will still be answering emails, so in case you happen to get an emergency project that is due on a Monday, you can still reach out to me on a Friday, and I will let you know if I can accommodate over the weekend. Thank you for your continuous trust and understanding. Happy Friday and enjoy the weekend. That was the email that Masha sent. And the line that made her clients feel most stoked was this: I will no longer provide services on Fridays in order to set more time for improving my skills and workflow, and then in turn provide you with better designs. She's showing them that by taking Fridays off, she's going to do personal development, which will ultimately benefit her clients. This is the magic in Masha's email. Masha, I am so stoked for you. Congratulations on taking the leap, setting boundaries, and creating the life that you want. If you have been thinking about freelancing but are scared to jump in, or you want to raise your rates, or are looking for some inspiration to cut your hours or take Fridays off, you're going to love this conversation. Let's get to it. Masha, welcome to the podcast. Can you please start out by introducing yourself to everybody and letting us know who you are and what you do in fashion?
Yeah, so my name is Masha, and my business name is Studio Cicla. I do freelance textile design and print design for the home fashion industry.
Yeah.
So bedding, towels, shower curtains, bedding and bath mostly.
Okay.
And I mostly work with big manufacturers who pitch and sell through brands in major retailers like Costco, Walmart, Target, all those. So
okay. Gotcha.
I'm kind of like, I designed the original artwork that goes on the end product.
Okay. So it's a manufacturer though. It's not a print house. Like explain how this actually, am I right? Yeah. Explain how this works.
Yeah, so manufacturers, they source from different factories. So they basically license with different brands that sell in big retailers, and they get direction every season from the brands. And so then they pitch product to be sold through in those brands through the major retailers. So they would pitch, for example, in Target has a lot of brands like Hearth and Hand, for example. So then we would get direction from Target, what they want to see with the next collection.
Okay.
And this manufacturer sources from different factories this product to be sold there. So it's kind of like, I guess, the middleman, so they like do make the product, and I'm on the design team helping them design the product.
Okay. So let me just try to summarize this, because this is an interesting, I haven't quite heard this exact arrangement before. So Target says, we want cotton shower curtain and we're really seeing leopard on trend or something. I don't know. They give kind of something like that.
Yeah, they give like mood boards and
Oh, wow. They do like full mood boards and stuff.
Yeah, some retailers are vague, but like Target usually sends us full direction.
Okay.
Mood boards and everything. Yeah.
Okay. And then you do the design on a freelance capacity for the repeats, the prints, right? Or maybe sometimes placed print. Yeah.
Yeah, place prints. I do towels too. So like beach towels. So I do wovens as well.
Okay.
So I would design into an end product, which is a jacquard, for example. So I would create the artwork that fits into the technique.
Okay. And then based off the inspiration that you've gotten, which might be as much as a mood board or might be a little bit more loose. And then the manufacturer sources the towel, the shower curtain, whatever, and then works with Target directly during the whole development process, get the approvals and all that stuff, and then does the bulk production. And then it goes to Target with the Hearth and Home label and it sells.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a little background on how Target does that. Okay, so you started your freelance career. What's it been? Has it been a year about?
Yeah, thanks to you, I started my freelance career.
Let's hear about it. I know a little bit about the very, very beginning, and it's a really exciting like moment at the beginning. I remember. Can you share how it kickstarted last year?
Yeah. So I, as a quick background, so I've been working with the manufacturers full time as a designer for like 3 years after college.
Okay.
And I always wanted to try freelancing, but I never really had the courage or like the resources to know what to charge or like how that goes. And then I've been following you actually for like probably 4 years now, even since college. Like I found you, but then I decided last summer to join your freelance workshop through Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And, I got some resources from you for like calculating the hourly rate, but then like that workshop, you really, pushed me to like ask for the rate that I was uncomfortable with asking, like, a bit more than I was comfortable with. And I think the timing worked out because I was working at that time for a company and it was kind of slowing down at the end, so I wasn't really doing my job anymore. So I was like, this is the perfect time to like jump into freelance.
Okay.
And after like the week workshop, I had a possible client who was my past employer, and I was like, can I freelance for you guys? And she was like, totally. And when I said the rate, she was like, yeah, she just agreed to the rate right away. So I was like, mine.
Okay. And I remember this going down, like this all happened during the live event. You were like posting in Facebook, like, holy cow, guys, I just landed my first client for this rate. And it's like a set number of hours. So you have like a really good base.
Yeah. I was secured for 20 hours a week. And I was like, I can do this.
Yeah. Okay. Would you be willing to share a little bit about the rate that you were going to start with, and then the rate that you like actually went in with based off of what you learned during that event, that Freelance Week event?
I think
I remember the numbers.
Oh boy. I think that I was like, I need to charge 45, but then I asked for a range of like, right now I charge like 60 to 75.
Right.
And my company was charging freelancer. I mean, the freelancers were charging them, and it was like 45, 50. So like I didn't think that like going over would be cool.
Going over 50. That's interesting. You knew what they were paying other freelancers. That's wild to me a little bit.
Yeah, because I was working full time and we did work with freelancers
Okay.
sometimes. So, and since the team was very small, like I knew
Oh, you
how
just
much.
knew.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you thought, well, I can't go over 50 because that's what we're currently paying other freelancers.
Yeah.
And so you were like going to go in around like 45, and then you went
And
in
then
at,
I asked for, I think 65. And I think and she was totally cool with it. So I was like, let's go.
You just gave yourself a 50% raise. Like
Yeah.
that. You could have been getting 45. Instead, you get 65. Like that's 20 extra dollars an hour. Let's do the math. 20 hours a week. That's $400 more a week. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And I actually just raised my rates too. So
yeah.
And that's like a whole other conversation.
We're going to talk about that. Okay. So you kickstart your career with just pitching to your old employer, just saying, hey, can I go freelance? I mean, that's pretty lucky. I feel like that it was just so easy to get that. No?
Yeah. No, I definitely feel like privileged that I actually haven't had to cold pitch at all.
Yeah.
And it's just because what happened was during the pandemic, my original company, people spread out after COVID because the company was,
Is it out there in New York?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything was in-house, like physically.
Yeah.
On location. Okay.
And because I was a CAD designer, that's what I started out as. I worked with all of the teams. So there was window team, there was a luxury team, there was like a open price team. So as a CAD designer, I worked with everyone. So I got to know everyone. And once everyone kind of spread out after COVID to different companies, I was able to just like reach out, and since they already worked with me, that's kind of how the major thing that helped me was just staying in touch with people and like doing a good job out of college.
Yeah. What did you do to stay in touch with people? Because it does really come down to like something as basic as that, but like I'm always curious to know what exactly that looked like.
I mean, I was friends. I made like a lot of like close friends, so I was just hanging out with like some designers, but then just like texting people out of the blue, like how are you doing, especially during COVID, since everyone's going through so much stuff. So just seeing like where people landed after, so just touching base. It doesn't like I wasn't like keeping in touch all the time, but like once in a while to just catch up.
I mean, it sounds like that was something that was pretty natural for you to just like periodically reach out and just say like, hey, how's it going? And like those little things do mean something, and some people do it naturally, right? Just that's the type of person they are, staying in touch. Yeah.
And since I guess it helped also because I moved to another company with my old boss, and she was staying in touch with a bunch of people. So it's like it's crazy how the home industry is kind of it's there's a lot of manufacturers and companies, but everyone knows each other and everyone knows what's going on, and it's crazy. It's a small world.
It is,
especially in the city.
Yeah, for sure. You're in New York. Okay, so you negotiated that, which gave you this amazing base to because what happened? If I remember correctly, you were still working for one employer, then you negotiated a freelance opportunity with a previous employer. Once you had that secured, then you quit your current employer job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because I remember you like put in your 2 weeks during freelance week. Like you came into the group, you're like, I just quit my job.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a wild time. Yeah.
It was a wild time, but you had that base. So that felt really good. So somehow got an update from you that you were like, oh yeah, I'm like doing a project with Anthropologie. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Talk to me about this.
So I was just, I hit the ground running, and I was like, well, so I have one client, but I need to look for more. So I just, I did the open to work update on LinkedIn, and I kind of just went through my contact list of even like people from college that I maybe like just are acquainted to, and but we're not like best friends. So I texted someone who was in Anthropologie. She was in the fashion apparel part of it first, and then she moved to home. So she was curious, like we had a conversation long ago about, she was curious about home. So I reached out to her and I was like, if you guys need any help, like I'm available for freelance. And so this was through a college acquaintance who
Okay, you
was
knew her from
working
college.
there.
Okay.
And yeah, probably most of the opportunities that I got so far was just like word of mouth. Because again, like everyone knows each other, and that time when everyone spread and everyone kind of like knows about me,
Yeah.
it helped a lot. So
But these are like first of all, you've kind of kept in touch with some of these people just in general. So it's not like they don't hear from you for 3 or 4 years and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, you're working in Anthropologie. You guys need any help? It's not quite like that.
no, I mean, this girl, I mean, we just follow each other on Instagram and sometimes like talk on Instagram. So it's like just social media friends, I guess.
Yeah, but the point is that like there's some light engagement over time. So it's not like, oh,
Yeah.
now Masha's just reaching out like to just ask for this thing, to ask for this opportunity. It's like there's been some casual connection over the years, which it's all it really needs to be, like a quick social, like commenting on someone's post, because that makes them feel really good. And it's hard to get people to comment, so like just little stuff.
Yeah. And just keeping people close, and you never know where people end up, and especially in college, like someone can end up being your boss someday, and like
Yeah.
that's what we've been taught. Like I had an illustration teacher and she was like, do not be an asshole to anyone. Like,
They
just
might
in
be your
case.
boss one day. You might walk into that interview and you're like, oh, hi. Oh, this might not go well because I was a total dick in college to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you get this opportunity for Anthropologie via a college friend but then you proactively reached out and was like, hey, I'm freelancing. Like, if you guys need any help in the home department, like I'd love to do that. And that worked.
Yeah, she connected me with the designer and I emailed my portfolio and everything, and they were down.
And you, did you go in with the same rate ish?
No, it's within the range of like 60 to 75, but I went higher. I mean, because
good for you.
Yeah, I gave my first employer obviously like as a thank you, like a discounted rate. So, but
and
yeah,
they were giving you like solid 20 hours a week. So
yeah, more or less. Right now I work on average like 25 to 30 hours.
Okay, so then you are working with Anthropologie and you're like, I'm just gonna go in for a little more money, and you get it. Which is great. Where do you think you what was going through your heads during parts of this? Because that can feel, I mean, I know some of it was like you had the whole Freelance Week group behind you, like rallying, or like, go for the rate, go for the rate, go for the rate. But like, then you're going into Anthropologie, which arguably could feel kind of intimidating. It's a really big brand. How are you feeling about going in and like, do you remember what your mindset was during that?
I was terrified. Like I mean, I didn't have any doubts about the rate really.
Okay.
But I just the imposter syndrome was like crippling. Just like with any like new thing for me, especially that big, is like it's intense. So I did end up spending more time, and this was an hourly rate, it's not like a fixed but I think I got a bit like much in my head, and I don't know, it was scary. I don't know, but then like with every project it kind of got easier, because they started out with I was working with existing artwork, so I wasn't really creating original artwork.
Okay.
And they have a very specific group of artists that they go to for art. So, and then, they do like a lot of licensing stuff with artists as well. So I got one project that was like original art, and that was amazing.
Yeah. So what then were you doing? Were you like just modifying it a little bit, or getting it into repeat, or like cleaning it up? What was your actual role?
Yeah. So if they send me an artwork, I would usually clean it and put it into a layout for bedding. For example.
Yeah.
And they would want different options of layouts and different colorways. So I would have to, most of the time, a lot of their bedding is digitally printed, so there's no color limitation.
Okay, right.
So I would just have to, put it into like a layout and recolor it.
Okay. Is there anything that you did for them in the market yet? Have you looked?
I don't, but they, as I was told, like the process is so, just with any in my experience, a lot of things get killed and they just keep it in the archive.
Yeah.
So maybe someday
Maybe in like 3 years, you'll be like, what? I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've done so many things that sometimes I'm like, did I do that?
Oh my gosh, I bet. Okay, so then you're doing some stuff with Anthropologie, and then what else? Because I think around that time too, you were like, oh yeah, and I have another client that I'm working with. Like I feel like I remember you telling me something else too. I can't recall.
Yeah, so right now I have like two to three solid clients, and yeah, I reached out to another girl that I used to work with from the same original employer who is in another manufacturing company now.
Okay.
So I'm basically just working with two like big manufacturers.
Okay.
And both that's been enough.
That's been good.
Yeah. It's been super busy, especially during the summer. I mean, obviously people go on vacation. So
yeah. And like, what is your schedule? Like, what does your day-to-day look like? You have some flexibility. It's just like, as long as you get it done. Are you working exclusively at home? Are both the manufacturers in New York? What does that all look like?
Yeah, they're both in New York. I maybe once in a month or once in 2 months, I go in the office for one of them.
Oh, very infrequent.
Yeah, I try to not, I mean, I'm a freelancer.
Let's be blunt here.
Yeah. My day-to-day, yeah. So I usually get about 3 to 4 projects during the week, and they, give me a deadline by which I need to do that. So for example, I would get like 3 sheet designs due in the week, or like 3 designs for quilts, or then I would just work throughout the week until the deadline. And yeah, I mean, I don't have really set hours. I kind of want to try to change that, but I just it's hourly, and I yes, about 25 to 26 hours a week, just getting their projects done.
Yeah, which is a nice, comfortable workload. I mean, it's not 40 hours.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know where all the other hours are going. Like,
okay, interesting.
It's something I'm working on. Like it's 26 hours is billable, obviously, so I don't bill for lunch. But I just developed such a like healthy, like I started working out again. So now it takes me like 2 hours, because like I lunch and then I work out during lunch.
That's great.
Right. But then I also don't start work until like 9:30, 10.
But that's fine. I mean, how does it feel like having that flexibility in your schedule because I imagine when you were in house, it was pretty structured, like 8 to 5 or something, 9 to 5. Okay. So it's a big change.
I love it. Like I could probably never go back, because I mean, I love my sleep, and I hated working out for most of my life. And now that I found a workout that I like, and I have like I like working out before lunch.
Yeah.
Like all the other morning I'm too tired, evening I'm too tired. So like with a 9 to 5, I would never really be able to do that with 1 hour for lunch,
Yeah.
So it's been good for my mental health, but also I'm like, shouldn't I be working 40 hours? Maybe it's just like a 9 to 5 mentality still in me.
Yeah.
That I should be working like at least 35 billable hours, because I could be making way more money, but I'm like,
I mean, money's nice. It's not everything though.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to take Fridays off for my own like skill development and stuff. But I just been overbooking myself for the past 3 months. I don't know. Yeah. I'm still learning.
You're still learning. Yeah, totally. It's a very big learning process. How's it been like being out of the office from maybe like a social aspect?
That's the thing that I kind of missed the social interactions. So it would be nice to be like 3 days at home and 2 days in office, or somewhere else at least. It has been isolating, but also I've been able to be more flexible for my 9 to 5 friends, so that I could like get out early and meet them for lunch some days, or make it like when they're available, so kind of make myself more available to social interactions with my friends. But it has been, I don't know, I guess it's like the imposter syndrome of like I feel like I'm not learning enough by being home all the time. Like like I feel like I'm missing out sometimes, and like I feel like sometimes I feel like I don't know enough to it's just, we all get that, like.
So you were doing like personal development Fridays that you said you kind of have your schedule's gotten off kilter. So you're not there. The time isn't there for that. But what were you doing on those Fridays? Like what type of stuff were you doing?
Yeah, so my plan is to actually start offering collections to buy online on a website. So
Okay.
kind of act like as a print studio would.
Yeah.
Just so that whenever I'm like not, I can't take on a project, I can direct them to a couple of prints that would fit within their brief, online, and they would buy it from me.
Yeah.
So the Fridays have been for like brand development and
Okay.
building a website, which, well, first of all, like starting collections. Let's just start there. And I think again, like it just got, I got carried away, and I kind of lost focus, honestly, with my first collection. But I'm trying to get back into it. It's just the summer has been busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fridays I would do collections, or I would figure out my brand guidelines, and just like away at it.
Just chip away at it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a learning curve for sure to go from like a structured 9 to 5 to like figuring out your own schedule. Right. I mean, I love that you have the lunch workout thing sorted and you're like, this is the first time it feels actually good for me to work out. That's amazing to like take care of your health and your body in that way. I mean, that alone is a massive win. And the other stuff will come with time. Like it'll fall into place. You'll figure out a groove. Right. And then maybe it changes 6 months later. But I love that you're at least like consciously thinking about like, how can I make this time work best for me as a human being?
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of hard since I'm always on call basically with my clients, because I work so much for them. It's hard to like keep I can't just be like 1 month I'm like, oh, I'm not working Fridays, and next month like I feel like almost it's kind of a call to be like, well, now my hours actually I'm only working until 3, or actually I'm only taking calls after 2, when they have so many meetings and so many updates. But I know that I have to set my own boundaries too, right?
Yeah, you do. I'm like, you said on call, and I'm kind of like, wait, I'm sorry, what? You're not on call. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, let's talk about some boundaries. It's not unprofessional to set boundaries. It's professional to set boundaries.
Yeah. So I think I did set a boundary of I'm working with one client just 9 to 3.
Okay. That's when you're available.
Yeah. But then I break my own rules sometimes when it's a lot of work.
Okay. So that's all right. You're learning how to hold the boundary.
Yeah. So it's I'm like on call per se, but I am like on their teams. So what's called the Microsoft Teams.
Right. You're like on chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's like an update from a client, I would get chatted, after 3 p.m. sometimes, and I would answer.
Okay.
So I guess
okay. So yeah, you need to like practice holding that boundary a little better, which is hard. It's really hard. You want to, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I imagine it, you're just like, I just want to do a really good job, and I want to do a good job, and I want to make everybody happy.
Yeah, I'm definitely a people's pleaser, and I have a hard time saying no to projects. So that's why the overbooking is an issue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're only booked 26 hours, not only, but 26 hours a week. That's
like,
not crazy.
It's not crazy, but it's like enough for me.
Enough. Okay, good. You get to like make that choice. That you're like 26 is enough. I don't really want to do 40. Although you're having some mental thoughts of like, oh, but should I be doing more? But that's a choice that you get to make.
Yeah, like I don't want to work 40 hours, but I guess I need to, like, raising rates would help with that,
Yeah. You said though you raised some rates. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. I promised myself that, within the year after I started, that I would reevaluate my rates, and I successfully raised my rate for one of the clients for, an extra $5. And it was, I was kind of scared and doubtful about it, but it was received very well, and they're like, yeah, we love working with you, like, what do you need?
So what did you say? Like, I want to hear like the conversation. What is this, in person, on the phone, on Zoom, on email?
So I planned it to be an email. I planned to send an email being like, at the end of the next pay period, I'm raising my rates to this, because, I would like to focus, more on providing a better service, and they'll, I guess, give me time. Or but then this client, all of a sudden, so they had someone leave and they needed a lot more work from me, so they reached out, and I only was able to do like 6 to 10 hours with them, but they were like, we need you more than 15 hours a week.
Okay.
And that's when this was through text, and that's when I was like, oh well, and I was planning to raise my rates in a month, basically being like, if I'm to work, like basically like to see if they still want me for that many hours after I raise my
At the higher rate.
right. So yeah, and she said, and I told her like I can't do more than 15, but I'm raising my rates, and my hours might free up because I'm raising rates for other clients too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I possibly will have more free hours for you.
She was fine with it. So what did you bump it up? You said $5 an hour?
Yeah.
So it was just, I mean, it sounds like it was really easy.
Yeah, it was easier than I thought. I was like planning it for months.
Yeah. And there's like one conversation and she's like, okay.
Yeah.
But you said something, and I want to point out, because it felt really strategic to me, but you were like, I'm raising the rates so that I can make sure I'm doing the best job possible for you. It wasn't like, I'm raising the rates because I need more money. Like, it was about them. You made the conversation and the reason for the rate raise about them, right? So I can deliver you the best product possible. Because at the end of the day, if you're working for lower rates, you need to take more hours, which is sometimes not just the physical hours, but like the mental space that it takes up, right? So if you can do a higher rate and fewer hours, like arguably you can do better work in those hours. So it sounds like you kind of positioned it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, because before raising my rates, I was thinking of that's how I approached the Fridays off as well.
Okay.
When I was like, well, I won't be working Fridays because I will be focusing on bettering my skills to later provide you a better service.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the same strategy, I guess, that I use.
Okay. So I didn't think you actually pitched the taking Fridays off. Did you actually pitch that to your clients and say, I'm not working Fridays because da 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 da?
I was gonna.
Okay, but you didn't.
I just didn't. And then I just didn't. I was working, I just made sure that I got all projects done by Thursday.
Okay, so then you kind of just built it into your own schedule. Okay, but then you still have availability on Friday, like if someone messages you.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I would encourage you to have that Friday conversation. Just saying.
Yeah, I should.
And when you position it like, not because I want to work 4 days a week, but that like, I want to better my skills and focus on personal development, and that at the end of the day is going to help you. I mean, I would love to hear that from a freelancer, and I'd be like, boom, do it. Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very attractive to someone like who's the hiring person, right? The not a manager, right? But like to see the freelancer being so proactive in themselves. It's very attractive. You don't see that a lot.
Really? I mean, because it's kind of easy to just get into a comfort zone and not really just provide the same thing over and over again. I feel like it just becomes less interesting for yourself too, if you're not growing or building on your skills.
I would love for you to have that Friday conversation and follow up with me.
Okay. We'll do.
Cool.
Maybe after the summer ends and it's not.
Okay. All right. It's July 13th. So maybe like September. I'll give you like 2.5 months. Is that the right math? Okay. Anyways.
Writing it down. September.
Okay. September. Fridays off. You have mentioned to me that you've gotten into some sticky situations before with brands asking you to do things that you didn't feel were very ethical. Would you be open to talking about that at all?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of product that needs to go out, and these like manufacturers, they work with a lot of brands at the same time, so I understand like when you need to get a lot of designs out, all of these companies, manufacturers, they sometimes use Pattern Bank or Shutterstock, just get designs out. This one-off, the only time I charged the flat rate was I had to design 33 beach towels within 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
For kids, and it's like super urgent project, and I was like, I just can't, like, I have to rely on Shutterstock, but with Shutterstock, they have a rule where you have to change it 30%, but then there's no.
That's so subjective.
Yeah. So a lot of times Shutterstock gets used by so many people. So like I constantly see, other people using the same exact Shutterstock image, and just not changing it. But then other times I would get an inspiration for, a bedding design, and I try to stay away from copying it, obviously, but usually the inspiration is quite specific that comes in.
Okay.
So I try to stay away. I just like look at it overall for mood, color, and like the style, and then I completely change the motifs and paint my own. With painting your own original stuff, it's a bit easier.
You
But
paint?
then, yeah. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so actually my specialty is like hand-drawn original design.
Oh, mostly painting or just any type of hand?
Painting, drawing, pen, digital too.
Okay.
I don't do much vector.
Okay.
I don't do that many like geos, or mostly like florals, medallions, conversationals.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the inspiration, then you try to like DIY it to make it, like you said, change motifs, etc. Okay. So keep going.
Yeah, but then I would, this happened maybe once or twice, but I would send it back, and they would give me feedback that they want it pretty much exactly the same as inspiration. And the inspiration is like, it's not like an inspiration of like a photograph of a plant or something. It's actual,
it's
like,
a print
artwork. It's either an artist painting, like a their painting, or it's someone else's print design. So
it's basically like, no, just make it this, but they're not like going back to that original artist to like buy the license or anything.
No, this was pulled from Pinterest usually. And sometimes I'm just curious, and I just reverse image search the picture, and I see that it's actually like a print studio that's selling it
online,
like for them.
Oh boy. And they're basically like telling you like, make it exactly this.
Yeah, but not in a way. They're like, well, in the inspiration that we showed you, this flower, for example, is like over here, and this is this colorway. So we want, like, they wouldn't just say just do it. They'll kind of be like, well, we want it.
They're very strategic with their language, but they're basically saying,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you do when that happens?
So what I did was, this happened recently, but I basically emailed back saying, I was trying to stay away from the swiper, the inspiration.
Swiper. I've never heard it called that. I like that. The swiper. Okay.
I just wanted to stay away from it for copyright reasons. But I just need like a verbal, something out there, like some sort of paper trail that I did not, like, this was their ask. This is not on me. So I was like, I did not want to make this too close for copyright reasons. But if you need me to edit it like that, I will.
Please instruct me to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a freelancer, that's the good thing, is like, most likely they're not going to go after you, because they're going to have their own stuff on their end. So
yeah,
it's like, my name is not on it.
Yeah. And like, who's going to, no offense, no, you don't have anything to offer. Going after a big brand, they have money, they have something to offer.
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm kind of just trying to move away. Like, my next steps would just start saying no to projects that involve Shutterstock, just because it's so, everyone uses it, and it's just like, I see the same stuff all the time, and it's hard to rummage through so much irrelevant stuff on it. It's not very filtered, and it just, I don't know, it just hurts my soul. Like I Shutterstock is great for specific things, not for like high-end brands stuff. I think I would like to move away from Shutterstock and just take on projects that involve a completely original design that I could do.
Yeah. I mean, I know Pattern Bank has a certain like purchasing option. Like if you're going to manufacture more than X items, like you have to buy this different tier, which is more expensive. And then you do like, and you can even buy, I think, exclusivity through Pattern Bank, right? And you're like, okay, now you buy that print, like that's your print, you own that. Nobody else technically owns that. But so
I just
that's
don't
like
know.
you what?
I don't know which tiers they pay for, you know?
Right. You're just getting the file. Okay. Right. So I guess I was just curious if like Shutterstock has any tiers where you can like genuinely pay to use the art as is, like from a legitimate,
Yeah, you do.
you pay, right. But
Like when everyone is using it, it's it becomes kind of, I
it
guess it's
just gets
not
overused.
yeah, it's not that it's not ethical to use, obviously, you know, Shutterstock, but it's just, yeah, I mean, they I don't think they actually, yeah, I don't think it is. I don't know how much they, you know, for which license
Tier.
they
Okay. Which
pay.
license are buying? Because the 30% rule, which I've heard many times over the years, specifically in relation to like prints and repeats, right? You're applying that to like if you pull just some inspiration off of Pinterest, you're supposed to change it 30%. The stuff if you buy off Shutterstock is what you've bought it, assuming you've bought on the right tier, you can just use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the tier, obviously.
Right. But the stuff that you just pull like off the internet, off Pinterest, like that's the inspiration that you're legally supposed to change 30%, which again is super subjective in order to then use something. Is that right?
I don't think we have like a rule for Pinterest, but
Okay.
I think 30%, that's not ethical because you're not even, yeah, with Shutterstock you're buying it sort of, but with Pinterest it's just pulling something, and it's usually someone else's art. I don't think even 30% is enough.
No, I mean, I totally agree. So ideally getting away from those types of projects, which you'll get figured out over
It's
time.
more fun for me too. So
Totally. Yeah. Cause you get more like creative freedom and you get to create the art from scratch. And yeah,
okay.
that's amazing. All right. Anything else you'd like to share with people about your journey in freelancing?
I mean, just that I'm still shocked every day that I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, you are.
You know, and I mean, I feel very lucky to have, you know, consistent clients, and I guess I haven't hit the low end of freelancing of like having to hustle and pitch all the time. Looking forward to finessing the schedule, finessing like my own, getting over my imposter syndrome and all that. So
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, I was dreaming of it for like every time I was full time, and it's kind of crazy to be doing it and, you know, earning way more money than I did full time.
Okay. So working 26 hours a week, you're earning way more than you were working full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you still in shock? I mean, it's been about a year. I'm very curious about that statement.
I think especially in New York City, like it's so like everyone has a full-time job, and it's almost like it was never that available as an idea for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that, you know, I just had the stigma of like my parents were like, well, freelancers don't make any money, freelancers have to hustle. I just like was, you know, just in general, I feel like freelancers get a bad rep being like, oh, they, you know, eat cup noodles every day, like they're starving. But I guess that's why I'm in shock, because like I'm still getting over like, wow, this is like more people need to try this and, you know, actually do this, because you're reclaiming, especially with New York City, it's a rat race, and you just reclaiming like my own time for workouts or my own time with friends feels like I'm reclaiming my life back from like the New York City rat race, sort of.
Yeah.
The 9 to 5, and it's just like everyone is like, oh, I mean, even talking with my friends, it's like they're like, oh wow, you're freelancing, you know, it's so fresh. So.
Yeah. What do your parents think now?
Good way.
They're
Yeah.
what? Sorry, cut out for a second. They're what?
They're also shocked, but they're very happy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they were, you know, always supportive, but
Sure.
when I said that I wanted to freelance, yeah, it was just like, well, why would you want to? You have benefits and you have 401k, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
What are you doing about your benefits now? Because everybody asks about that, and I know there's various solutions, but I'm curious since you brought it up.
Yeah, so I mean, 401k, I should look back into that. I mean, I consolidated it, but I got lucky with my partner works a government job, so he got a good health insurance that we could get as domestic partnership.
Okay.
So that helped a lot financially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, early in the game for
Yeah.
retirement and so, but I feel like I need to start now.
Yeah. I will tell you, because I have, I mean, I've been working for myself in one way or another for like almost 15 years, but I just have it as an auto draft. And like you think you're going to miss the money, but you don't even know that it's not there.
Yeah.
Like I fund my Roth IRA and also have a 401k that I just have set up for myself. But like, yeah, the money goes in and like once it's
Automatically.
gone, automatically twice every 2 weeks. Once it's gone, like you just don't miss it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it so lightly. Like obviously everybody has a different situation with their finances, right? And like if money's tight, like money's tight, like I get that. But if you're comfortable, you will not miss that money.
Yeah, if you're comfortable with the amount, that's not gonna make a difference to you much, even if it's $10 or something. Like it, it works over time and it totally makes sense.
I'm not here to bug you on your retirement, but I'm just saying for me, like getting it set up on autopilot and then like I don't ever think about it. And then there's just some peace of mind that like knows it's getting taken care of. You'll get there.
I mean, yeah, I'm saving for a laptop right now. So
there you go.
So yeah, lots of saving.
Yeah. Where can everybody find you online and connect with you and see all the awesome stuff you're doing?
I'm on Instagram. I don't have my website yet, but it's at Studia Svekla, and
we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. I'm mostly Instagram, really. I'm on LinkedIn. Masha Khoruzhik. Yep.
All right, cool. And the last question, what do you wish people would ask you about freelancing in fashion that they never do?
What you asked me about just the day-to-day, how my day is going, basically, even though I'm finessing that still, but I don't think people are, like I said, like people mostly don't realize that this is a viable solution to just aiming your mental health and having time for yourself. And just like the stigma around it, I wish people asked me actually like how I spend my day, and then they'll be like, wow, you have time for yourself, you set your own schedule. That's crazy that works for you, and you're not starving.
Yeah, right. And then you're not starving. Like I get up at 9:30 and I work out and do my lunch for 2 hours and I still work and I'm very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think that's I never get asked that, and they're like, okay, freelance, and then they just go away with their own thoughts, like okay,
what that might look like. Oh, she's freelancing.
Am I gonna have to spot her on lunch today?
Totally. That's where people's heads go. For sure. That's very true. Am I gonna have to spot her on lunch today? Thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your success and the journey that you've experienced in your first year. Congratulations. It's amazing. I'm really excited to have seen you grown and push yourself and gone out there for that rate increase and going out there soon for that Friday off. You're doing great.
Thank you so much for having me.
If you liked this video, you're going to love this one. Hit play now, and thanks for watching.